In today's Razorback Daily, Arkansas is moving on. We're recapping the win over Kansas. It's Friday, March 21st, 2025. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man Matt Zimmerman, and you're listening to the Razorback Daily.
I found out today. Who can we put in the middle of the zone? Jonas. Big three you made. Big big free throws, big free throws, big free throws. Jonas making 2 free throws. If you guys want to do something, you know what? You'll make it work. Now, you beat the 7, which means you're the 7. Yeah. Now, the next game will be. When is it? Hey, I don't ever watch the game, and neither will you. I'm going back and probably watching this one quickly. But you know what? You know what? We're still playing. Great job, guys.
We already did it.
Well, how about that? A happy, wild, and wet locker room for the Razorbacks. Chin Coleman came out to do the post-game radio. He was drenched in water. He was like, we had a water celebration in the locker room. How about that? You can see how happy Coach Cal was, how happy, the players through the roof. We've got a big group with us today to talk about this on the Razorback Daily. And Quinn Grovey, for a great win, we get to have a great reunion. How about it, Quinn? Of course, it's a throwback day with the reunion. Of course, we have Tara with us as always, but we have Sawyer Radler on with us, who's been on the Daily and helped us with so much stuff, Hogs Plus and the Razorback Daily, and producer number 1 and producer number 2 for Quinn and I. Bart was actually producer number 1 before Haley, but we've got Haley Ordway back with us, and we've got the legendary Bart Holman back with us to celebrate victory over the Kansas Jayhawks. Sawyer, Bart, Haley, welcome back to the Razorback Daily.
What's up, guys?
Howdy.
It's awesome to be here, Z. It's good to see you live from the arena.
Oh, it's so
The
good.
bowels of the arena.
Come here.
I'm just happy that Quinn is still awake.
This is one of our freshman managers right here, Harrison. Put that in, Harrison. He's from Memphis, Bart. He's like, he's from Memphis.
Yes, sir, Memphis.
Hey,
There we go.
Harrison, your first NCAA tournament game, what was it like?
Well, from the media film room, it was a bit stressful being a St. John's manager hanging out there.
Yeah, because we only get to have 22 seats on the bench or 20 seats on the bench and 5 guys playing. So a freshman like Harrison, he may have to do some grunt work during the game. All right, there's my man Harrison. He's the best.
Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. How about that? All right, see you, buddy. Well,
Z's having a good time is what is happening.
Oh,
Z's
no
having
doubt.
a good time in Providence.
Bart, tell me what's going on. Tell me, what did you think about that victory over the Kansas Jayhawks?
Man, I'll tell you what, Z. I thought Jonas Adu was the difference, man. I think the way he's played down the stretch, he's finally healthy, and he's looking like the Jonas Adu we saw at Tennessee last year, and then some. Like, I think he's playing the best ball of his career right now. And it's what he did defensively against Hunter Dickinson tonight, what he was able to do offensively, get some big buckets when the Hogs really needed him. Like, just outstanding performance from Jonas. And if he can keep that up, man, hey, St. John's ain't a very big team. And I mean, like, they're we'll see what happens. But Arkansas is, man, I'll tell you what, they looked really good tonight, I thought.
Well, to piggyback off that, when I was watching them warm up, we were still on the post-game radio when I was watching St. John's, and I was really surprised. Just what you said, they were not a really big team. And all year they have kind of struggled to shoot the ball for a great team. As many wins as they've had, they were awesome in the Big East. But they've shown, and they really struggled with Omaha, and especially in the first half of that game. Haley, where did you watch the game at?
We all went to an establishment in Fayetteville and watched the game.
Was it a secret establishment? Was it a secret establishment?
No, me, Bart, Saw, and Tara were all watching the game together.
Oh, that is
group of
so
people.
fun. Now let me ask you this: why didn't you invite my friend Quinn Grovey?
Excellent question. I was not the ringleader. I'll throw it to Saw.
What was the deal? Why was it Quinn? He wouldn't have came anyway.
No, that's exactly why. That's exactly why we didn't want to be offended.
We don't like rejection.
He might have came for a drink and then bounced.
Yeah.
You know what? We have another game though, so we're
Saturday.
100%.
Pizza
Point
party.
Grovey.
Let's go.
Yes.
Did you notice on the day before the game all the stuff I did the day before the big game against Kansas? I was wearing a Hogs Plus
Hogs
t-shirt.
Plus t-shirt.
We
I was very
did.
proud of you.
Yeah.
We spoke about that tonight at dinner, actually.
Yes.
This T-shirt.
Yeah,
They look
is it
good.
the one that's
They
got
look
the
good.
Nike on the sleeve?
Yeah.
Because Jack said that he was a little disappointed. He didn't have one like that. I said, Jack, you weren't even. That's it. I said, Jack, you weren't even around then.
He
You
was
still
not.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was still with but great win, Sawyer. What was it like where y'all were at? Were there other people there watching the game? Was there?
Oh yeah, it was packed. The race,
So was people
Razorback.
happy?
Oh yeah, it was great.
A lot of hog calls.
A
Yeah.
lot of hog calls. Everybody got nervous a little bit, from about that 10-minute mark to 5-minute mark in the second half, and beyond. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of hog calls. Everybody was ready to roll,
Yeah.
and we had a good time, and it was fun to watch the Hogs play like they did.
Yeah, and Bart, we're rolling pretty good. We're up 11 early in the second half, and then we get cold. They go to a zone. We got a little bit stagnant. We were driving like crazy on them. We kind of just got a little bit shaky against the zone some, and next thing you know, we're behind. I was very surprised that Kansas was able to come back and take the lead. What were your thoughts as Kansas was making this comeback?
Yeah, I mean, Bill Self is a really good coach, Z. Like a really good coach. He's a Hall of Famer. And I thought the move to the zone was a great one. And it really disrupted what the Hogs were trying to do offensively. And for a while there, we just couldn't figure out like how to break down their zone. Finally, we started getting that ball to the high post, and that kind of started opening things up. Nelly got a couple of good looks. He didn't knock a couple down, but then he made a big one. And we started being able to carve up that zone and get some buckets. DJ did a great job driving the ball, and like he's done that all year. It showed up again in the second half when the Hogs needed it most, and we were able to get to the free throw line and make the foul shots. Yeah. Jonas had a couple of big ones at the line. Nelly had several big ones, and that ended up being the difference.
Yeah, you're right. And Quinn, we have to shoot.
Wait. You got to go to Haley. You hadn't asked Haley anything yet.
Haley. I did. We talked about the establishment. All right,
We
did. She did talk. Quinn, we haven't heard
talk.
from you much.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Quinn. That's the real missing piece here.
We didn't make sure that Quinn does not fall asleep.
Yeah.
He's good.
Not fall asleep.
Haley, listen to this.
Yes.
We have the seventh foul, which is a 1-and-1. It's Jonas, and we're either tied. I think we're tied, and he makes both of them. Makes the front. If he misses, it's a turnover. He makes them both, and then Nelly has a 1-and-1, makes them both. That's kind of what Bart was talking about. And then DJ with 21 seconds left, he had to shoot the last 1-and-1. It was almost over by then, but he makes them both. How about that? 3 front end of 1-and-1s. This Razorback team goes 6 for 6.
It's just clutch. It's clutch. You gotta make those plays like that if you want to continue in the tournament. They did it.
Yeah, they did it. All right, Quinn, how about this one? Boogie Fland, he had a huge steal. I thought it was important. Boogie looked a little shaky early, but he got fouled, Bart, and that helped him because he got to go to the line. He's an excellent free throw. Making those 2 free throws, you can kind of see him exhale and be like, okay, I'm back out here and I've already scored. I don't have to worry about scoring no more. But Quinn, he got a huge steal. He had a full speed layup. He had 6 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 3 assists. Quinn did not turn the ball over. This kid has 28 turnovers all season long, 103 assists going into this game. This kid don't turn the ball over. Quinn, what'd you think about Boogie first game back?
I thought he was tired, but he played 23 minutes, and that was big. I think he played a little bit more than what Cal really wanted him to.
Yeah.
But I think also Cal knows, and looking ahead to potentially St. John's with the way they're going to pick up 94 feet, you're going to need Boogie. And so getting him out there and getting his feet wet, allowing him to compete. I mean, there's times the camera would show him, you can see him huffing and puffing, but what else would you expect? I mean, you ain't going to be in game shape like that. So he has to fight through a lot of things. And you could tell he was just trying to figure out, he was really trying to stay out of the way early on. I mean, what can I do to stay out of the way and not really disrupt what DJ is doing? But I thought he was good defensively. I think he'll continue to be better. He's just a classic team player, did everything the right way. We're going to need him in a big-time way because watching St. John's, they're going to pick up 94 feet and a lot of opportunities, and that's going to be a lot of pressure on DJ really trying to handle that ball the entire time. So you're going to need another ball handler. So this is a great time to get Boogie back, but it's good to get him 23 minutes in. He'll get a couple of days off and be ready to go.
Yeah, quick turnaround, but it's huge to have that extra day in there because now we are 8 deep. Everyone's player of the game, we talked about it, Jonas, the 22 points, the 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. I bet he changed 4 or 5 more of Hunter Dickinson's shots. And
he killed Hunter Dickinson.
He killed Hunter
Dickinson. 4 for 13. 4 for 13
I mean,
from the field for Hunter Dickinson.
I mean, he had him locked down, beat him up on the offensive end, and he couldn't do anything on the defensive end. I mean, he was just absolutely, he was a non-factor.
He made a couple free throws after this, but with 8:36 to go in the first half, that's when the big fella, Hunter, scored his last basket. And that's incredible that he went for basically 32 minutes of the ball game, and he'd already made his 4 shots, and he wasn't going to score anymore. And he kept turning over that right shoulder, and he was shooting it too hard. And that was telling you he was shooting it with a higher arch than normal because he was so conscious of Trevin and so conscious of Jonas. Jonas on him the bulk of the time. But he kept lifting his shots higher, and he couldn't get them to go. And Bart, there was frustration with him. He was not happy in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the worst games he's played all year, and it was largely due to Jonas, man. Like what he did defensively was incredible. And, I feel like the way to beat Kansas is to shut down Hunter Dickinson, and that's what Jonas did. That's what the Hogs did. And man, hey, Trevin Brazil played a role in that too. He helped out on some double teams. He was great on the glass. He had double-digit rebounds yet again, and Arkansas's big men dominated Kansas's big men. That's the bottom line, and that's the difference.
I don't think you can sleep on that point you just made right there, because I'm telling you, when Kansas went to the zone, it caused us problems. But Trevin Brazil was able to get a couple of offensive rebounds and keep a couple of possessions alive, and that made the difference during that stretch because we could have. It could have fell apart then, but Trevin, the way he was going after the glass, getting the ball, scoring, rebounding, doing those types of things, getting it, throwing it back out, giving you another opportunity. Hey, you got to give him a lot of credit. That guy was high flying all over the place, and so he was good. What's going on with Big Z? Big Z, 4 minutes. I mean, but the one thing I did like about Big Z, again, and this goes into what Coach Cal was talking about, nobody cares. The guy was cheering on the sideline. Yes. He was high-fiving. He was smiling. He was encouraging. To me, that says an awful lot about a group of guys, man, that are really superstars in their own right. But for them to pull for one another like that, that's why I say you just don't always look at just the entire team dynamics. You look at those little things like that on the bench. Is he pouting? Is he upset? You don't get none of that. And so hopefully Big Z's time will come. But to be playing with 8 guys and Z's only getting 4 minutes and you get a win and now you got a chance to go to the Sweet 16. I mean, man, look, with all the stuff that's taking place this season, I'm glad we're where we're at. I'm thankful.
Home is more important than ever, and Arvest Bank is here to help you with all of your home loan needs for a new home, refinance, or making improvements to your current home. Get started today at arvest.com/home for me. I know all the folks at Arvest were excited about the Razorbacks' big win over the Kansas Jayhawks. Equal housing lender. All loans are subject to credit approval. I'm gonna let any of y'all answer this if you want to. We talked about Nelly's huge three when we're up one. We talked about the big foul shots. We talked about Trevin's big offensive rebound stick backs. Talked about Boogie's steal in the open court and getting that layup. Any other big plays that stick out to you from this big victory that you're like, man, that was an important play for us to make?
Nelly's three.
Yeah.
That was clutch. The one
That
Cal
was
was
clutch.
talking about. That was a clutch three.
He was due. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
due.
He was a little due.
If Nelly is scoring at any type of clip, we're always going to be in a good spot. I've said it time and time again. To me, he is the linchpin to everything that we do offensively. And if he's scoring, he's the one guy who can get the bucket. He can shoot the three. And if he's doing things well, and then you couple that with Jonas Adu, man, I'm telling you, it's weird. It's weird. I'm telling you, something weird is going on. So we'll see what's happening.
Bart, you think of any play that sticks out to you?
I thought like just toward the end of the game, just getting the ball in bounds with Kansas's pressure. There were a couple
beating
of
them timeouts. You know, you could run the baseline now.
Yeah.
You could run the baseline, use that baseline.
right. But I mean, man, like Kansas, cranked up the pressure and took a couple of timeouts, but getting the ball in and then getting the foul, going to the foul line, making those two free throws. I mean, that's huge. That's as big a play as anything.
Yeah. I think all that flurry of first half baskets, right-handed, left-handed by Jonas in the middle were so huge. Late in the game, we were struggling to score. Carter drove from the right side right to the rim, and he got fouled, and he made the layup. That was a huge. You remember that play? I think he bricked the free throw, but that was the end of our free throw missing. That was.
But I'm gonna tell you, Z, the other play that was big, and it wasn't anything from Arkansas. And this is a guy, in my opinion. He's not a very good shooter, but he's very athletic. When KJ Adams went out, that hurt Kansas. That hurt Kansas an awful lot. When he hit the ground and they had to bring in Big 40 and keep Dixon in. They were better with Dixon on the bench. And they had to keep him in the game. I thought that was a big, big momentum swing when he went down. I don't know, was it an Achilles for him? It looked like an Achilles.
Boy, I'm afraid. I don't know. We've not heard at the arena what it was. It was either ankle, foot, but the way he was grabbing it, he was grabbing the back there. So hopefully that's a senior. He's been around a long time. KJ ended up with 13 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. He's such a good player. Another big play was, remember in the first half, Jonas kind of took a little bit of a tougher shot. He went and got his own rebound and dunked it in the air. Do you remember that? And I think those plays started going into the mind of Hunter Dickinson, that I'm bigger than you, or I'm as big as you. I'm a little bit lighter than you, but I jump quicker. I'm a little quicker moving, and I'm just as skilled as you are, right-handed, left-handed, whatever. I think that Jonas sent a lot of messages to him. Another big play to me was we were kind of struggling a little bit in the first half. Trev Brazil got us going with that left corner three. If you'll remember it, right in front of Kansas's bench. That was huge. And then another big play, another first half, shot clock's winding down. We weren't getting anything to go. DJ made about a 25-footer on the left top. That was a huge play. And, man, what a great win for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Anybody else that y'all want to give a shout out to, player wise, that you think did something a little extra for us tonight? Saul, you think of anything?
I think TB continues to blow us away with what he's able to do on the offensive rebound off the glass. I mean, he had some crazy rebounds and was able to recover some plays. I mean, Quinn talked about it. I'll give him a shout out. I think he kind of made a difference there for us. And I mean, Jonas Adu, obviously we keep seeing him take steps each week. I think he's finally kind of getting healthy, and he's going to continue to be a difference maker for the Hogs. I am curious what the aftermath was like, Z, from your perspective on the game. I mean, they quickly kind of turn in the page, or what?
Yeah, I think they'll have. They had a big celebration, and but it was early. I love that we played the first game. In the SEC, they do it opposite of that. SEC term, they let that top seed, the better seed, get to play first, like St. John's. But TV dictates everything with the CBS, and they wanted St. John's in the second game, and St. John's could have played the first game. So we're going to get 3 hours of rest ahead of them, and I think that's important. They don't have a ton of depth either. So I think that's a little bit of an advantage. Our guys get back to the hotel, get them a great meal, take a shower, and kind of talk to their families, make their phone calls, send their text messages, decompress. We got all day Friday and probably most all day Saturday to get ready. Tara, don't you think that CBS is going to put this ball game prime time on Saturday? It's probably not going to be at noon or 1 because the East Coast games are usually the early 11 o'clock games. Well, it's going to be a late game, don't you think?
I mean, CBS would be crazy not to put us in the primetime game, right, Dave?
It's got to be at that 6. It's got to be the similar window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
typically
so.
what they do.
I mean, that's extra 3 hours. I mean, Patino's 72, Cal's 66. Patino's up there, man. 6 years, baby.
Is Coach Patino 72?
72. He looks about like he's 88.
Careful, Saul.
Cal looks like he's 52. So.
There you go.
That's funny. When he came out for the warm-ups, Coach Cal just wears a nice sport coat, usually slacks and a dress shirt. But Coach Patino's back to the old. Last year he was wearing his first year at St. John's. He was still doing a lot of pullovers and quarter zips, but now he's full suits this season. And he came out and he looked like the old Godfather, like he used to. We used to coach against him when he was at Louisville, and he kind of had that same look to him that he did 20 years ago when we were coaching against him. And he's got a lot of aura to him. I'm not a Rick Pitino fan. I never have been. I'm Catholic. He's Catholic. That's about it. To me, I've never really been a big fan of Rick Pitino's. No offense to him. He's had a really good career. I liked it when he was coaching like overseas, when he was in Russia or Cambodia or Afghanistan, wherever he was coaching. That's when I was really enjoying his coaching career.
Hang on. Where did you say he coached, Z?
Cambodia.
Russia, Cambodia, Nicaragua, Italy, Spain, France.
Transylvania.
Nobody fact check this. Nobody fact check this.
Anywhere but the United States.
Z, did you see your McNeese, Will Wade beat Clemson?
And I like Will. That's my buddy, and I've gotten beaten up for kind of standing by Will over many years. Most people didn't think a lot of Will. He's a tremendous coach. He got busted cheating at LSU when he didn't need to. He was doing well there. He'd won the league. I texted him this morning at 11 o'clock, said, "Get after them Tigers hard. Your alma mater. I'm going to be pulling for you." He responded in 30 seconds. He said, "Thanks, Coach. Same to you all. Hope you beat Kansas." And so that was nice.
There you go.
And I took a video of him. He was right in front of me when he was celebrating. He didn't see me, but he was so happy. Hey, McNeese guys, they're tough. Now, they're not going to go far, but they are the toughest, most hard-nosed guys. They got a chip on their shoulder. I loved watching them fight with Clemson, man. They were very, very impressive. And you go to McNeese State. Bart, McNeese had been to 2 NCAA tournaments in their whole history. Yeah. They've been to 2 in a row. He's doubled what they did in 100 years of basketball. This guy can coach, and he's not going to end up in our league, which I'm happy about. He's going to end up in the ACC.
North Carolina State, new head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and messed up Bart's bracket. So.
Yeah.
Did he have Clemson making a run?
Well, I had Clemson in the Sweet 16, but that's okay. That has more to do with me never trusting Purdue than it does with me being like some sort of Clemson believer or anything like that. But
I'm gonna ask this to Saul, and then any of you guys can jump in with your thoughts on this. Saul, we've had a lot of great wins in Arkansas all throughout time, but you run Hogs Plus, and so we went 7-6 in football, had some really good wins. Tennessee in the bowl game. We're always we want to go undefeated, right? It just makes things better. Basketball kind of up and down at times. Now it's up. Women's basketball was down. Baseball, we're just getting going. What does this mean for our fans, the Arkansas Razorback fans, to have this kind of success in March Madness again?
It's it, man. This is what we play. This is what we all do. This is what we all want. I mean, the way I think Arkansas fans felt, obviously the win was great, but what you saw the team do in the first half, and I think the way you felt like they were playing and controlling, and clearly the better team, I think, for most of the game, that is a good feeling. And I think with what we saw tonight and the return of Boogie, the emergence of Jonas Adu, I mean, right now I think Hog fans feel like they have a legit chance against anybody they play. And that's fun. And that is, as a 10 seed and kind of a dark horse here, that's going to take people to the next level. And we're going to have fun at least for, at least one more game. And right now I think fans are excited to go beyond. So this is it, man. This is what we all live for.
Haley, what's it mean to our fan base?
I think especially after like how they started SEC play and everyone was so kind of down and confused and just kind of bummed, and seeing them kind of come back and players come out of their shells and come into themselves. I feel like it's just really fun. I feel like fans have had a great time just watching this team kind of find its stride, and hopefully they continue.
I'll add one more thing. I really like the players. And so you're around them a lot.
It's fun.
People know them. Like Nelly, I've got to spend a lot of time around. We hung out with Jonas earlier this week. And I mean, I'll even say the football team. You get to know these guys, and they are really good dudes. And I know in the era of NIL, people might have a distaste for certain things, but I've been around a lot of the players, and they are good dudes and good guys to cheer for. And that goes a long way. And I do want to tell fans, and I try to tell fans that when I see them, about guys that I really cheer for. And I believe that in a lot of the football team and the basketball team and beyond that this year. And I think others would echo that too.
Tara, I know you're always fired up about the fans and how they feel. What do you think it did for them, this win?
Just fires them up even more. I mean, we saw them when we were out watching the game. By the way, I mean, I don't know if we're keeping it a secret, calling it an establishment. We were at walk-ons.
Hey, Haley went that route.
Promotional purposes.
We just went it. No free ads.
Hey,
no free
I've gotten
ads.
trouble in the past for free
Oh, really?
advertisement on this podcast.
We love walk-ons though.
We
Hey,
Was there a
do.
lot of people there,
we-
really?
Love a cheese
We
log.
we saw your boy Patrick Camerling there.
Yeah.
We saw Oliver Grigg, Hunter. We saw a lot of the SID. I mean, it was a lot of Razorback people there. So
It was
Yeah.
a
Place
lot
to
of
be.
fans, yeah. And
That is awesome.
like I said,
I'm
lots
so
of
glad.
lots of hog calls, lots of people cheering. I mean, it was just like, it was a fun environment to be in, just to see Razorback fans get so excited for this team, because
Yeah.
like Haley kind of mentioned, it's just like with the way that their season started off, or at least in conference play, I think that people were kind of down on this team and didn't have high expectations at a certain point. So I'm happy that it's turned out the way it has, and that I really think they can make a good run.
In the 1990 Final Four team, our thread, and Lee Mayberry said the Hogs are a very dangerous team. And then
They
Todd
are.
Day and all these guys talking about how good this team can still be, because they're still getting better. And now you add Boogie
Yeah.
to that. That's what's incredible for the
Well,
for the
and you
future.
know what was interesting was seeing people who thought that adding Boogie back into the mix might have caused more problems than helping
Yeah.
the team, and I don't think that was the case at all.
No. And that kind of goes to what Sawyer was talking about. These guys are really cool guys. They're
cool. They're
They're
close.
laid back. I've not seen any jealousy among them. Now, as Cal says, there's not a whole lot of jealousy when you're playing 7 guys. I mean, they play all they want.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they've gotten along, and that chemistry is so important. And they're
And
not.
they-
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, if you go back again on Hogs Plus, you get to see this kind of content. But I mean, they FaceTimed Boogie after every big win
Yeah.
and kept everybody that was involved. And I know Adu, Thero too. I mean, it does seem like they did gel. And Cal, I mean, when you're around Cal, you see it, that he really works on that. And there is a really solid team chemistry, and they do really pull for each other. I sense that. So that has been cool.
Yeah, and what if you get Adu back? I mean, right now he's still not back.
Jeez.
But
It's
but
crazy,
what if you
yeah.
add that piece back, and all of a sudden you're looking at a strong 9 guys together. That's
Scary.
incredible. Yeah.
Scary.
Win, what's your final takeaways on this game and the huge win for the Razorbacks?
No, I think what y'all talking about, this last part is critical, because I don't think this basketball team would be the same if Boogie didn't get hurt, if Thero didn't get hurt.
True.
Because Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, those guys stepped up in a big way. So they're much better. They're farther along than what they would be if those guys had played the entire season. I think they were able to define roles. And now you've got a rotation of 8. If Thero comes back, you got a rotation of 9, but you got 9 guys. Because early on when we put Carter or Billy in the game, it's like, oh, God, oh, boy, what's about to happen? But now they're vital components of this basketball team. They're very, very confident. And so you got 8 confident guys, 9 confident guys. It's very, very, very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very dangerous. And I feel like we're in a pretty good spot right now.
Art, you're going to have to stay up all night because you got to get up in about 2 hours for your Chuck and Bo show work.
No kidding. No kidding. I was waiting on you to stop talking, Z.
Yeah. I love you guys getting on with us to celebrate a big win. That's great to see all of y'all. And the Razorback Daily wouldn't be anything without Sawyer and Bart and Haley and Tara doing so much for it all the time. And that's awesome. And there's still, I know not everybody listens to it, but we still have a lot of listeners. And I was talking to a guy right here in Rhode Island, and he doesn't live here, but he traveled for the trip. And Art, you'll appreciate this. He's a Tulsa, Oklahoma Razorback.
Okay.
And he flew up, and he talked about still listens to the Razorback Daily. And he was talking about Pat Bradley being on the show the other day, and he was talking about how much he liked having Pat on. So I know I'm happy for our fans. I'm really happy for Lee Mayberry and Pat Bradley and Ernie Murray and all the old Razorback players, Joe Klein, Darrell Walker. They take pride in that. They want their former school to do well. They don't want us to be a bad basketball program. And Coach Cal's done a good job with our former players. So, man, that was a fun win. I get nervous most games at some point. I never got nervous in this game. I don't know why. Even when we were behind 3, I just never got nervous. Now, if Kansas would have gone up 5, I think I would have. But they kept turning the ball over. They kept throwing the ball away. And, man, a great win for the Hogs. And we just appreciate you guys being on the Razorback Daily.
Well, all right, Zay and Tara, as we get ready to wrap up this edition of the Razorback Daily, big-time clash coming on Saturday. 2 big-time coaches, Rick Pitino and John Calipari. St. John's and Arkansas should be a fun matchup, Z.
Yeah, that's great. And I love it for Razorback fans that they're getting to live through all this, and they're getting to see Cal, not at the end of the career, but, towards the end of it and all the success he's had at those other schools. Now we're getting to reap some of the benefits because we're getting on primetime games, getting all this attention, and we're getting some big wins. And it's going to be a big deal. Coach Cal versus Rick Pitino. They've gone against each other a lot of times in the past, especially in the old Conference USA. I was coaching in that league when they were doing that. And Coach Pitino, former head coach of Kentucky, Coach Calipari, former head coach of Kentucky. The battles they had, Louisville versus Memphis, the battles they had, Kentucky versus Louisville. I think it's awesome. I like St. John's team. They don't shoot it great. They're not an electric scoring team. They're not huge. They don't rebound great, but they're tough. They're physical, Quinn. They're gritty. They fight you. They play very hard, and they are a true Big East Coast type style of basketball. They won't be as big. They won't be the 7'2s, the 6'11s, the 6'10 athletes that we have. They just don't have that. So it'll be a little bit of a contrast in styles. And I think our East Coast guards will do very well versus their East Coast guards. Our East Coast guards are DJ and Boogie, and they have played against these New York type guards their whole lives. I think that's a little bit of advantage for us as well, but it's going to be an awesome ball game. And I thought going into this that our toughest game of this opening weekend would very likely be Kansas because of Bill Self and the Kansas program. And I still kind of think that it won't be easy against St. John's. They can beat our butt. If we don't play well, St. John's will beat Arkansas. But I think if we play like we've been playing, like we're capable of playing, that the Razorbacks will beat St. John's and advance on to San Francisco, where we're planning on taking our good friend Quinn Grovey with us.
Well, all right, Z and Tara, that's how we'll wrap up this edition of the Razorback Daily, a Sport and Story production. I'm Quinn Grovey alongside my man Matt Zimmerman, and we'll talk Monday.